Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well today. I came back from break and had two packages, one from the west coast of the US and one from China. Let's open this one up today and see what we have. You guys ready for another unboxing? I hope you have a couple minutes to join me. Let's get started. Okay, let's open this up. I hope everyone's having a good day wherever you live. I actually took a few days off last week from the dojo, which was really nice. It's springtime here in the US. Excuse my crinkly jacket because it's cold in the morning and hot in the afternoon. You don't often get days off when you own a business, so for me to take 2-3 days in a row off is really rare. I haven't had a day off. Let's see, it's April. I haven't had a day off since Christmas time. You just don't, you know, you guys who own a restaurant or a martial arts school, we work 12 hours a day. Training is living, basically. My dojo is my second home, and I love it. So don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining, but it was really nice to have a couple days off with my girlfriend just so we could plant flowers around the house and clean and things like that. Spring cleaning, get ready for planting weather. She likes to plant outside. I'm not much into it. I mow the lawn and stuff, but she likes to do all the flowers and all that. So I basically dug about 50 holes. Arms are sore from all the shoveling. All right, look at this. You guys out there who are just like me, we'd love to open swords. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's unwrap it. I'm hoping that the focus is good for everybody at home. Regular black sword bag. People ask me all the time, why do they have these swords in bags? They're just for storage. These are like a cheap, I don't know if it's even a synthetic silk, cotton, whatever it is. It's just a sword bag. I don't know if they had them way back then. Probably not. This is probably more of a modern thing. They might, I'm not sure. There is something called a Nishijin Ori, which these are not them, but they are high quality sword bags. And they're made of Nishijin fabric, which is a highly decorative traditional textile which is produced in the Nishijin district of Kyoto. But sometimes you see sword bags that are really highly decorative. It's made by a company that makes like obi belts or kimono. Super high quality sewing and design in those, but most of the time it's just, you're just going to get a cheap black or colorful bag here. You can buy bags online. If you go to Amazon and you type in Makoto's a company that makes like Japanese synthetic silk bags. So type in Makoto, Makoto silk bags on Amazon. You can get them for about 15 bucks. And they have a dozen or so options of colors to choose from. But they're good for storing your blades or even displaying them on a shelf. So here we are. Look at this green sword. I'm attracted to swords that are different. You know what I mean? I like swords that are different. Look at that, they gave us some extra Makugi pegs here. So when we take the sword apart at some point, I'm not going to take the sword apart today, but they give you, sometimes it's rare, they give you these extra Makugi pin pegs here for the handle, because often you'll break those as you're trying to take the sword apart. My guess is they wrap the ska handle in plastic so they don't want you to think that 15 people had their hands all over the sword. They want to keep it clean for you guys, the consumer out there. Now this is an Iaito non-sharp sword. There's no edge on it, so it's good for practicing Iaito, Kenjutsu. I may use this sword myself this week when we do our sword class this week, but sometimes Iaito are called Mogito. Mogi means imitation, so you may hear the word Mogito or imitation blade versus a Shinken. Shinken means real sword or a sharp blade. This is not a Shinken. I rarely use a Shinken in class, only when I'm working with high-level black belts that I completely trust will I use a sharp sword in our Kenjutsu. Otherwise, it's a Iaito all the way. Believe it or not, swords are illegal to own in Japan. Isn't that strange? To own a sword in Japan, you have to have certain licenses and things like that. I find that a little bit weird, but hey, if you're a citizen of Japan, you must be registered with the Nihon Tokenkai, which is a Japanese sword association. This is why the staunch 1791 Bill of Rights, Article 1, Section 8, the check on government is so important in the U.S. about the right to have firearms, because it's a slippery slope. A law is passed, another law is passed, all of a sudden it's illegal to own a firearm in America. Most people in America, staunch Second Amendment right advocates, do not like laws that come in because they think it's taking away our freedom to bear arms. I think that in Japan you should be able to have a sword, but they're so strict there, and their violence is minimal, so there's always arguments. In America, huge amounts of guns. We are just obsessed here with firearms. But you and I are also obsessed with swords, so we like these things. This came from China, from Ryan Swords. This is the model 1380, R-Y-A-N, Ryan Swords, which you can find on eBay, or ryanswords.com has these for sale. They're around anywhere from $100 to $200, depending on where you buy them. I paid a bit more for this one through eBay because it came directly from China, but if you go to ryanswords.com, you can actually get these for about $100. That's a great deal. I don't know how many they have here in the US by the distributor, but I got this one from China. So let's open this up here. Look at that. I love the green saya color. Again, what often attracts me is the color of the sword. The ray skin under here is dyed yellow or painted yellow. You have this dark Iaito here. I just like the look of the sword. I think it's a very handsome and unique sword compared to many of the black ones that I have with the white. I like the different color here. Notice how oily that sword is. I don't know if you can see it. It has a lot of grime on it, so I'm going to wipe that off. And then we'll take a closer look at the specs of this. Really handsome sword here. Alright, here we are in closer inspection of this beautiful Iaito. Here is a wakizashi that I've had for quite a while. It's super sharp. Now this is a shinken. This is a live blade, but the green color matches. So if I had this in my obi belt, I might wear this wakizashi sword, side sword with it. This is a beautiful blade as well. Maybe someday I don't know if I've done a review on this, but I might go over this blade at some point. Beautiful razor sharp sword. Far more expensive than the one I'm going to show you now, so understand that this is a high quality, very sharp handmade sword. This is not. So here we have this one. Handsome, nevertheless, beautiful sword. Take this off. Let us wipe the excess oil off, which is typical with shipping. Here, now we can reveal the beauty of this blade. This is a 1060 carbon steel. They do make aluminum alloy blades. I don't recommend those unless they're just for display or Iaito without a person. Here at the dojo we do a different type of Iaito. It's very unorthodox, but we always work with another person. We do not just sit and do the katas by themselves. We always do more of a kenjutsu type where you draw the sword, defend yourself with an opponent coming at you. And you guys know that I'm an advocate of strange Iaito and strange kenjutsu where it's really under duress. Often I see videos of people doing Iaito by themselves. There's no duress and everything's detail and technical oriented. I support that. I respect it highly. But in reality, when you're in battle, under duress, someone's coming at you, all those details, those fine motor skills go out the door. And you really have to be good at doing kind of sloppy kenjutsu, which is going to make you survive rather than look cool in front of an audience. This is a steel sword. It's got a good weight to it. The overall weight is about 2.9 pounds, so you could use this thing two-handed or one-handed. It's a nice, solid sword. What I notice immediately is the balance is very, very good. Often these are so top-heavy that the blade is so heavy that it pulls you forward. There's a good balance point here, so this is a nice sword for practice. I think I'm going to use this myself. Don't think I'm going to give this away. Again, this is made by Ryan Swords, and I don't get paid or anything. This is just going over the sword for you guys in case you want one. The overall length of the sword is 40.6 inches with the handle as well. Another thing that attracted me to this was this suguha, which is a straight hamon. You see how this cloud line is straight for a change all the way up to the kisaki here rather than the curvy type here. I love this straight hamon line. It's very attractive, very beautiful, very different. And I don't have too many blades that have the straight hamon line. So to me, again, that is what matches the handsomeness of this particular katana here. Now people ask, Mr. Norcross, what makes the difference between like a tanto wakizashi katana? Often it's the length. If it's over 24 inches, it's classified as a katana. This particular blade length is 27.9 inches from the hibaki to the kasaki. So this is 27.9. That's a good average size. But usually more than 24 inches, you would classify a sword as a katana. Back then, they would have been tailored to your height. So depending on the samurai warrior, you might have a shorter sword if you were a shorter person. Me being 6'2", 6'3", in my younger days, you shrink as you get older. I would like a much longer sword tailored to my height. And everything in America should be bigger than the average size you see from Japan or China. We are typically taller. Female in our classes, often they have a shorter sword that's lighter. You remember the Hobbit movie, Frodo, Bilbo, they had the Sting sword versus like, they wouldn't walk around with the sword of Gandalf or something like that. They had their own size. Each sword would have been tailored. The ska, the handle here, the length is 27 centimeters or 10.6 inches. It's fairly short, so you could use this one-handed or two-handed. It's beautiful yellow colored same here underneath with nice dimplage on there. You have the Iaito, which is a dark green. Could be silk, could be cotton, I'm not sure. It could be a synthetic silk. Very tightly wrapped. You don't want these diamonds to move when you're shifting them around. You want this very tightly wrapped, so it's going to loosen over time with thousands of cuts, but you want to try to have a tight wrapping as best you can. They did a really good job, whoever made these, at wrapping that tsuka. The sori, the curve of the blade from here to here is 1.9 centimeters. Very little bit of a curve on this one. The sakikasane, the blade thickness at the yokote here is 3 millimeters. And the kasane blade thickness down here at the hibaki is 7.2 millimeters. The Tsuba guard is black painted alloy, good enough to protect your hands as well as keep your hands from sliding down the blade in this crane shape. You can see there's a head of a crane here. It's hard to see with his wings or her wings surrounding the seppa there. Everything looks to be probably brass here. The hibaki is probably brass, seppa probably brass. You have this nice, the black collar ring here is this nice alloy, high gloss. The kashira here is just a plain black alloy, glossy, handsome, beautiful sword, very different. Some people might be turned off by the green and yellow. Again, I like it because it's unusual. It's not typical. Very, very handsome blade, well balanced. I would highly, highly recommend this for any practitioner of Iaito or Kenjutsu. Good job in the paint here. Sageo here looks to be kind of a brown and gold or yellow, which matches the rest of the sword. People always ask, should I take this decorative knot off? That's completely up to you. If you want to unwrap that and tie it to your hakama or your obi belt, go for it. Old school, go for it. I often will leave these in my obi because we don't use the sageo traditionally like some other schools. To me, it's just a functional silk rope. Has many uses to it. Maybe one day we'll do a video on the sageo, but to me, it's more decoration than anything. Whatever your school or teachers tell you to do, go ahead and follow their rules. Don't listen to me. Overall, I would recommend this sword to anybody from Ryan Swords. Again, this is the model 1380. Get it on eBay or at Ryan Swords. I highly recommend the sword if you want one. And this, for the price, for $100, $150, this is a great feeling sword as far as the weight, the balance. I've had swords that are 3 times this price that feel like crap. And this one feels really good. It's an unusual looking sword, especially for those of you who like, you know, frogs or fish or forest or things like that. This is what we call kind of a nature colored sword, unusual. I think it would have looked weird back then. I don't think they would have had this type of sword, but nowadays you can get these custom swords all over the place on the internet. What do you guys think? Is she a beauty or what? It's a gorgeous sword for the price point. I don't know how many they have on the website, but if you want to go check them out, go for it. See if you can order one before they're gone. Great one. I'm going to add it to my collection. Hopefully you guys have a collection. If you don't, go ahead and save up the money and start one. Life is short. Start your collection now. Get one sword so you can go out in your backyard and practice and play around and get better at it. You can't get better without practicing. You can't watch videos, you can't watch movies or read books. You have to get your sword, go out into the backyard or wherever you live, on the terrace, and practice. And find teachers that you trust, who have knowledge. Find someone who inspires you to pick up your sword when they're not around and practice. That's what I do with all my sword teachers. I have several of them. I don't have one, I have many sword teachers from all over the world, and each of them has a different strength that they can show me, different secrets and things like that we're not going to show on the internet. People always say, well, why bother with the sword? Well, because I love it, it's fun, and it teaches me all kinds of things about life. The sword, in my opinion, brings out life lessons that we can then apply to the rest of the parts of our lives. I use the principles of Kenjutsu every day here at the school. I use them in my relationships, in the boardroom, out with people. I use these all the time. They keep my mind calm. They keep my goals focused. They keep my dreams in sight. Training in the martial arts is a gift, and it was rare to have back then. But nowadays, you and I are going to have to do the work to find a school that we love, people that we love to train with who are positive and want us to succeed in life. That is martial arts. That's why I train. I don't train for the money or for anything like that. I train because it makes me feel like I have a purpose. And you would agree that you need tools for your trade. You have the shuriken there, the wakizashi, the katana, and many more. The point is, keep training, keep going. Don't let anyone deter you. Don't let the negative trolls tear you down. People are going to make fun of anyone who creates something, but you have the power to create and to accomplish your goals. So here she is, this green crane, handsome Iaito, made by Ryan Swords here. Excellent tool for the trade. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. This is Todd Norcross on behalf of the Dojo Martial Arts. Like and subscribe, please. And we'll put out more free videos for you every week. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.